Salah is leaving. Liverpool is urgently looking for a replacement. Who did they choose? Manchester City is preparing a transfer bombshell. 2 new signings for Guardiola. Who are these fighters? Arsenal is signing a new killer in attack. Barcelona is going all in again. Diving even deeper into debt for a new star. Genius or madness? All this and much more. Right now. I see your support, and it truly gives me the energy to keep dropping these episodes. 500 thumbs up, and the next one will be even bigger. Let's go! Barcelona is back to its old ways. Financial problems? Pff, who cares when there's a Brazilian midfield maestro on the horizon? The Catalans have set their sights on Bruno Guimaraes, and their plan is, to put it mildly, bold. Sell Frenkie de Jong to patch up the budget while simultaneously strengthening the midfield. Ambitious? No doubt. Realistic? Now that's the question. Last year, Barca already tried to snatch Guimaraes, but their €80 million bid didn't even get a response from Newcastle. Makes sense. His release clause is €100 million. The Magpies simply shut the door and said, thanks, but no thanks. Now, the Catalans are back, and this time, it's getting serious. Selling de Jong would finally allow them to enter negotiations, and while his contract runs until 2026, Barca's bosses want to offload him this summer. Otherwise, they won't have enough funds, not just for Guimaraes but for other targets as well, like Murillo from Nottingham Forest, whom, according to reports, Barca is also considering. But here's the catch, Man City wants Guimaraes too. Pep loves his aggression and sees him as the perfect defensive midfielder for his team. However, £100 million is a stretch even for the oil-rich giants, so City is planning to offer £80 million in the summer of 2025. Déjà vu, anyone? Barca versus City, a battle on all fronts. And now the big question. How realistic is this transfer? On one hand, Barcelona feels like a guy drowning in debt but still dreaming of a luxury car. On the other hand, they always seem to find a way to pull it off. But even if de Jong is sold, will that money be enough to convince Newcastle? The Magpies have already shown they're not really up for negotiations. What do you think? Should Barca sacrifice Frenkie for Guimaraes, or is this just another dream crashing into financial reality? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button to boost the video, and subscribe to stay on top of the hottest transfer rumors. PEDRI is staying at Camp Nou until 2030. No, not until the end of time, but it still sounds pretty impressive. Barcelona has signed a new contract with the 22-year-old midfielder, which means that for the next 5 years, Catalan fans will get to watch one of the most talented players of his generation in the Blaugrana shirt. Why is this important? Because after his injuries, PEDRI has returned to his previous level and become a key player in Hansi Flick's team. Let's be honest, watching a young player who tirelessly moves across the pitch, delivers pinpoint passes, and rarely makes mistakes is a real joy. And not so long ago, he was, as they say, running on one leg. Now PEDRI plays every La Liga match, showing that there will be no more injury breaks in his schedule. That's what proper game time management looks like. Thank you, Hansi. And do you remember how it all started? In 2019, Barca signed him from Las Palmas for just €5 million. Probably the club's best shopping decision in recent years. But here's the question. If it weren't for the injuries, how much faster would he have become the star we see today? Now that PEDRI has signed a contract until 2030, Barcelona has the opportunity to build a team around a player who is still approaching his peak. And at the same time, they firmly rejected interest from Saudi Pro League's wealthy clubs. No matter how tempting it was to cash in on a young star, Barca made the right choice. The only question is, will the club take advantage of this opportunity and build a team capable of great achievements? What do you think? What does the future hold for PEDRI? Will he become a club legend, or will he only remain an important player of his time? Share your opinions in the comments. If you thought Manchester United had their discipline under control, well, think again. Marcus Rashford has been in exile for a month now, and Ruben Amorim is looking at him like he owes him breakfast. The official reason? Lack of commitment. But let's be honest, something is clearly rotten here. And now, with just days left before the transfer window closes, Barcelona enters the scene. Déjà vu? According to The Telegraph, United and the Catalans have started preliminary talks over a loan deal for Rashford. On paper, this seems like a dream come true for Marcus, playing for Barca under Hansi Flick. Sounds sweet, but there's one problem: money. Barcelona has already proven they know how to maneuver when their budget has a hole bigger than United's defense on set pieces. Rumor has it that if they sell Pau Prim and Unai Hernandez, they'll have enough room in the wage bill for Rashford's salary. And it looks like Marcus is even willing to take a pay cut to make the move happen. Now that's a sacrifice. Or maybe just the realization that sitting on the bench isn't an option anymore. But if the deal falls through, things aren't looking great for Rashford at Old Trafford. Amorim has made it clear, without a change in attitude on the pitch, he won't be getting a place in the starting lineup, and judging by recent reports, no such change is on the horizon. Other options? Milan, Borussia, or even Tottenham and West Ham. But it seems like Marcus himself wants Barcelona the most. The real question is, do Barca actually need him? There's another twist in the plot. If Ansu Fati moves to Ajax, the Catalans will have even more room to work with. So for now, it's all just rumors. But as the saying goes, there's no smoke without fire. What do you think? Does Rashford have a real shot at reviving his career at Barca, or should he look for a simpler option? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the latest football gossip. Manchester City is looking to strengthen not with just one, but two Juventus players. But as always, it's not that simple. One of them is Douglas Luiz, a familiar face in the Premier League, and the other is Andrea Cambiaso, a versatile defender, but with some concerns. Juve is acting like a master auctioneer, driving up the price and dragging out negotiations as if they're selling a legendary Renaissance painting rather than a footballer. Meanwhile, City seems to be looking for a way to approach the deal from a different angle. First, Douglas Luiz. City wants to take him on loan, but Juventus responds, no buy option, no deal. And to be fair, that makes sense. The guy's price tag is over £30 million. Why would they just let him go for free? Guardiola, as always, is playing chess. He wants a loan without strict obligations, just to see if Luiz fits into his high-intensity football. And let's be honest, Luiz already knows England well. He was great at Aston Villa. But here's the real question. Does City actually need him right now? Squad depth is great, but Pep already has a queue of midfielders eager to play. Now, Cambiaso. And this one's even trickier. Juventus is kind of open to selling, but there's a small issue: injuries. His ankle is bothering him, he's playing through painkillers, and honestly, that sounds concerning. City would prefer to sign him in the summer, but Juve has slapped a £67 million price tag on him. That kind of money could buy an entirely new defensive line. On top of that, reports suggest Juve simply doesn't have a replacement lined up if they sell Cambiaso now. So for now, this deal seems to be on hold. And here's the big question. Should City even bother with these transfers? Their bench is already stacked, and Juventus clearly isn't letting their players go on the cheap. Maybe Pep should turn his attention elsewhere, like Ederson from Atalanta, who's also being linked with a move to Manchester. Plenty of options out there. What do you think? Should City push for Luiz and Cambiaso, or look for alternatives? And how do you feel about £67 million for a defender playing on painkillers? Here's the stats. More than half of viewers are watching on TV. But YouTube promotes videos better when they get likes. So, if you're watching on a TV, grab your phone and hit the like button. It really helps. Liverpool could lose Salah. I know it sounds like déjà vu, but this time there's a new protagonist, Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford. The 25-year-old winger has already caught the attention of the Reds, as well as Newcastle and Tottenham. Does this mean we're witnessing the rise of a new Premier League star? Mbeumo is having a fantastic season. 14 goals in 23 games. For Brentford, he's like Batman, single-handedly carrying the attack while the team fights for a mid-table spot. So, it's only logical that bigger clubs are circling around him. But there's a catch. Brentford doesn't want to sell him in January. Summer? Maybe. Right now? Off the table. That said, Mbeumo himself seems open to a change of scenery. If an elite club playing in the Champions League and willing to give him a pay raise comes knocking, he'd probably say, "Oh, come on, no need to convince me." The problem is, the most active interest from a top club is coming from Liverpool, but only if Salah leaves. Now for the real intrigue, what's happening with Mo? His contract expires in 6 months and he's keeping quiet for now. But Saudi club Al Hilal is reportedly preparing a new bid. After Neymar's departure to Santos, they urgently need a new superstar, and the Egyptian is at the top of their transfer wish list. Rumour has it that Liverpool won't stand in Salah's way if the offer is massive enough. The question is, will Salah agree? If Liverpool gets 100+ million euros for him, they could easily sign Mbeumo in the summer. But there's a twist. When Brentford or Brighton sell a player, there's always this lingering thought, do they know something we don't? Their players often shine at their clubs, but don't always live up to expectations in bigger teams. Will history repeat itself with Mbeumo? So, let's see how this unfolds. What do you think? Is Mbeumo a worthy replacement for Salah, or should Liverpool aim for someone bigger? Or maybe Mo isn't leaving at all and this is just media hype. Gabriel Jesus is out injured again, which means Arteta is facing a red alert. He needs a striker and fast. The options of Isak and Šeško are already off the table. And suddenly, Ollie Watkins comes into focus. The Englishman is having a fantastic season, scoring, assisting and driving Villa toward the top 4. Seems like a perfect fit, right? The Gunners made their move with a £45 million bid. And what did Villa say? Exactly. Thanks, but no. Arsenal then upped the offer to £60 million. Another rejection. Why? Aston Villa is no longer just a solid mid-table side. They are serious contenders for a Champions League spot. Selling their main striker in January is like giving up your best horse right before the finish line. That's why their stance is rock solid. Watkins is not for sale. At least, not for that price. According to The Telegraph, Villa values him at £80 million plus. A lot, no doubt. But Arsenal has no choice. The transfer window is closing soon and top strikers are almost non-existent on the market. As for Ollie himself, he's not against the move. He has supported Arsenal since childhood and the chance to play for his dream club and fight for the title is a huge motivation. However, there's a catch. Does this transfer really make sense if Arsenal has to pay almost as much as Liverpool did for Darwin Núñez? On one hand, an experienced, proven Premier League striker is exactly what the Gunners need right now. On the other hand, if the club isn't willing to spend that much, should they be looking for alternatives? Then there's Arsenal's transfer strategy. It raises some eyebrows. Making an offer right before Villa's crucial Champions League match, is that a clever move or a miscalculation? Maybe they should have worked on this deal earlier instead of waiting until the deadline. Or is it a psychological tactic to unsettle Villa? What do you think? So, is Watkins to Arsenal a real possibility? Or are we witnessing yet another transfer saga where Arsenal ends up empty-handed? Should the Gunners splash out £80 million, or are there smarter options out there? By the way, friends, check this out. More than half of you are watching from a TV. Let's test something. How many of you can show your support for the video? If you're watching on TV, grab your phone and hit that thumbs up button. The future of Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen is like a TV series no one wants to miss. Right now, he's on loan at Galatasaray and is tearing it up, almost a goal per game in the Turkish Super League. His performances have attracted massive attention, not just in Turkey, but across Europe. And it's no surprise, a player with his skills simply can't go unnoticed. Naturally, Galatasaray is eager to keep him and has made an offer of €65 million. Sounds decent. Sure, but not for Napoli. The Italian club believes Osimhen is worth a lot more, and club president Aurelio De Laurentiis has already rejected the bid. Players like him are a rare breed, and Napoli has no intention of letting him go for what they consider a laughable €65 million. This isn't the first time clubs have tried to sign Osimhen. Galatasaray had an exclusive option to buy him for €75 million, but never pulled the trigger. Now, they're back in the race, but their latest offer is €10 million below Napoli's asking price. So, what happens if Galatasaray actually raises their bid? There's a chance Napoli might start considering it. But here's where things get interesting. Osimhen's release clause is currently €81 million for all clubs except Galatasaray, and this summer it will drop to €75 million for everyone. If the Turkish giants really want to keep him, they'll have to step up. The only question is, are they willing to take the risk? While Galatasaray hesitates, English clubs like Chelsea, Arsenal and Manchester United are watching closely, ready to pounce. These teams have been monitoring Osimhen for a long time, and if Napoli finally decides to sell, expect a heated bidding war for the Nigerian star. Meanwhile, De Laurentiis is betting that demand for Osimhen will skyrocket in the summer, pushing Napoli to receive an offer they simply can't refuse. It makes sense. The more interest in a player, the higher his price. And right now, Osimhen is in top form and on everyone's radar. His ability to create and finish chances makes him a dream signing for many elite clubs. But what do you think? Can Galatasaray convince Napoli to lower the price, or will OSIMHEN end up in the Premier League? Jordan Henderson changing clubs again. Just a year ago, he was enthusiastically talking about a new challenge at Ajax, and now it looks like he's packing his bags for Monaco. Why is he bouncing from club to club? What kind of chaos is this? When Henderson left Liverpool, he spoke about a new chapter and being highly motivated. And that new chapter lasted 6 months in Saudi Arabia, then another year in Amsterdam. And now, welcome to League One. According to reports, Monaco is on the verge of signing the 33-year-old midfielder on a deal until the summer of 2026. Fabrizio Romano is already waving his famous "Here we go," but Dutch media aren't in a hurry to say goodbye to Henderson. According to them, Ajax isn't too keen on letting him go mid-season. Makes sense. He's become a key player for the team. 31 matches, consistency, experience, leadership. So how will Ajax fill the hole in midfield now? It seems the club's management has a tough decision to make. Keep an important player or let him go on yet another journey of self-discovery. Meanwhile, Monaco is clearly looking to strengthen ahead of the season's final stretch. An experienced midfielder with a captaincy background at Liverpool? Sounds solid. But can Hendo handle the intensity of French football? Let's not forget, League One isn't a casual stroll along the French Riviera. It's a tough, physical league where you have to run, press and fight for every ball. Also, it'll be interesting to see the transfer fee involved. No details yet, but Ajax surely won't let Henderson go for free. And if the clubs fail to reach an agreement, what then? Another 6-month saga and a fresh wave of transfer rumours. What do you think? Is this a logical move for Henderson or just another football journey with no clear direction? Will he be a good fit for Monaco? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget, if this video gets 500 likes, we'll discuss even bigger transfer stories in the next one. Alvaro Morata is changing clubs again. Yes. The Boomerang Man is already packing his bags for Istanbul. Turkish side Galatasaray has reached an agreement with Milan for a loan deal with a mandatory buyout clause of 10 million euros. Just 6 months ago, he was brought to San Siro as an important reinforcement, and now, goodbye. What went wrong? Saying that things didn't go as planned for Alvaro is an understatement. 6 goals in 24 matches? Feels like getting a new striker in EAFC with a 78 rating. Seems promising, but in reality, just doesn't work out. Milan expected him to at least be a reliable attacking option, but the club is already looking for someone better. And that's when Galatasaray swooped in. The Turkish side saw an opportunity and thought, why don't we take him? And not without reason. In Istanbul, they believe Morata will be the perfect partner for Victor Osimhen. Why exactly 10 million euros? Now, here's where the accounting kicks in. Milan's books will list Morata's value at 9.75 million euros this summer, which means that if they sell him for less, they'll have to record a loss. So, they slapped a 10 million euro price tag on him just to break even. Sounds like a sneaky financial move. Maybe, but considering that Galatasaray initially offered 16 million euros and then suddenly changed their mind, it's clear they weren't keen on overpaying. Real Madrid, Juventus, Chelsea, Atletico, Juve again, Milan, and now Turkey. Some players get comfortable in one place, while others get used to new suitcases every 2 years. But the real question is, will this transfer actually help Morata? He was far from impressive in Italy, but can he finally flourish in Turkey? Or are we in for another episode of Where Will Morata Go Next in a year? Drop your predictions in the comments. What do you think about this move? Will he fit in at Galatasaray, or is this just another temporary stop? Alright friends, Dortmund is at it again with another surprise. Niko Kovac, the former Bayern and Monaco coach, is taking over Borussia. How about that for a twist? Just a reminder, he's been out of a job since being sacked by Wolfsburg in March. And now, a year later, he's back to restore order in a team stuck in the middle of the Bundesliga table. His contract runs until June 2026, which suggests the club is thinking long-term. But let's be honest, appointing Kovac feels a bit like starting home renovations on a Friday night. Everyone hopes it'll work out, but no one's really sure how long it will take or how much effort it'll require. His first game? Against Stuttgart. And right after that, the Champions League looms on the horizon, a serious test for both the coach and the team. Now, the big question: Why Kovac? Erik ten Hag was strongly linked to the job, but according to reports, he preferred to wait until the summer, and Dortmund couldn't afford to wait. Fans were frustrated with the results, and let's be real, the team wasn't exactly shining. They needed someone experienced and, ideally, available. Kovac fit the bill perfectly. Of course, this isn't his first rodeo in the Bundesliga. Remember his time at Frankfurt? He led them to a German Cup victory against none other than Bayern. His style is built on a solid defensive structure, but will a defense-first approach be enough to pull Dortmund out of their slump? So, what do you think, guys? Can Kovac bring Borussia back to the top? Or is this just another temporary fix? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll be keeping an eye on his first match and, of course, the press conference.